Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Story, and we are back with a whole new podcast episode. Yes, we are 2 seconds in, and Bourbon is already causing so much drama that he is with me early. So I have Bourbon for now until he gets out of air jail. But I am super excited because we are getting back to reading some Reddit stories. I've been doing a little bit of reactions lately and I missed it. So we're doing a couple story times. They are Amber the A-hole and they are from Best of Redditor updates. So all of them will have updates and they all are related around marriage. All of the titles do say husband in them, but we're going to judge if the husband is in the wrong or if maybe the wife or another family member did something to justify their actions. So, before we jump in, if you have not already and you care about animals or me or the state of Kentucky slash the United States, I don't know, don't forget to check out the petition I will have linked in my bio. We hit 1,000 signatures. Thank you guys so much. I didn't even see it myself. My mom actually screenshotted it and sent it to me. So I guess if you signed it, you got a notification or something. But thank you so much. The next step is to reach out to the news. I'm also going to be having a yard sale soon, so I'm going to probably set up a table with petitioning for that. But if you're completely lost as to what I'm talking about, there's a petition linked below. It is all about getting better laws for domestic animals in the state of Kentucky. We are among the worst for our laws, so this is really, really important. If we can get this done, obviously it'll be a blueprint for the rest of the United States, and I'll keep pushing in other states. But we got to start with our home state first. So if you want to read all about that and sign it, it is free. As long as you are on planet Earth, you are able to sign. So go ahead and check that out down below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into today's stories. I'm Grace Story, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. Am I the a-hole for finally supporting my husband's ultimatum to his late wife's parents after they've repeatedly excluded my son? Original post is from June 23rd, 2026. I, 35 female, am in a loving blended family, but the extended family drama is crushing me. I have a wonderful 10-year-old son. My current husband, 32 male, lost his wife 4 years ago and has a 7-year-old son. We built a beautiful family of 4. My husband treats both boys exactly the same. I do the same with my stepson, and the boys love each other like real brothers. We are genuinely happy despite everything. The problem is my husband's ex-in-laws, his late wife's parents. They constantly badmouth me and paint me as the quote-unquote evil stepmom, feeding every nasty stereotype. Mean, neglectful, manipulative, jealous. You get the picture. To my husband's parents and anyone who will listen. For example, after my stepson had a minor injury, they said things like, "Stepmoms can never be real. Why would she even care about him?" They accuse me of manipulating my stepson and try to turn everyone against me. Every time they visit, they completely ignore my son. No greetings, no conversation. They bring gifts, toys, chocolates, and sweets, only for their biological grandson. Oh, I don't like that. That is, when you bring the children into it, it's a whole other level of awful. Obviously what they're doing to the mom is awful, but bringing the child into it, disgusting. Sorry, that took me out. I saw that and I was like, whoa, what is happening? Okay, let's keep reading. When my kind-hearted stepson immediately shares everything with my son, as he always does, they get visibly annoyed, say things like, "Why are you sharing with him? That's for you only," and even try to pull him away. I hate when the parents are the bad example or the grandparents. You're supposed to be teaching the kid, not the kid teaching you. I bet that he gets those values from, it sounds like, OP, the stepmom, and the dad who he's with every day. But it's sad when the kids are teaching the older generations how to exist, how to be kind. Literally, it costs nothing to be kind. Okay? May cost an extra $4 if you're gonna get an extra chocolate bar for the other kids so that it's not a favoritism thing. But if that's too much, then don't get one for either, you know? That would be kinder. My husband has been solid and always says other people's opinions do not matter. He wanted to set a strong boundary earlier by announcing on my stepson's birthday, if you're family, then you're family to both kids. If that's not possible, you are not family and you are not invited. I stopped him because I thought a nice talk would work. I've been holding my husband back from taking any harsh steps in order to respect his ex-in-laws as they lost their daughter. I wanted to respect the memory of his late wife and give them time to adjust. Well, I'm glad that he's standing up for you and, like, your son, as he should be. But I just don't get it. Like, I get that they lost their daughter, but why would you want to make her son's life harder and, like, their family dynamic harder and awkward and tense instead of just loving them to the best of your ability and, like, not making anything harder for anyone? On my stepson's birthday last year, his side of the family showed up with gifts and love. On my son's birthday, almost no one came, and the few who did showed up empty handed. Gifts aren't important to us as adults, but to a child, it feels like rejection and being left out. My son was sad and has started asking me painful questions because of this exclusion, like why they don't like him or what he did wrong, which breaks my heart. I have zero family on my side, so he doesn't have that extended network. His birthday is coming up soon, and I'm dreading it. I'd even be happy to buy gifts myself that they could give him if that makes it easier. I just don't want him to feel left out again. Recently, after they left, my son refused to eat the chocolates or play with the shared toys. He quietly kept everything in his pockets and returned it all to me. That broke me. I'm completely fine with them loving their biological grandson more. That's natural. But the open hostility, exclusion of my son, and constant comments are painful. Edit. I finally stopped holding my husband back. He is now taking strict action and has given an ultimatum to his side of the family. Either they are family to both kids or family to none. Am I the a-hole for supporting this hard line now, after previously trying to keep the peace, or should I still be trying to make nice for the sake of family and my husband's late wife's memory? I just want my son to feel included and loved on his birthday instead of rejected again. You need to do what's best for your son. And I'm glad that you and your husband are aligned on that, because people aren't always aligned when it comes to what's best for their child. But you need to do what's best for your son. And playing nice isn't working. You guys know I'm a huge advocate of no contact. And, like, it's so, so sad that it's his wife who has passed, like, their side of the family, because you don't want to go no contact. But maybe, like, low contact or the ultimatum. I think that that's fair, because unfortunately, like, this is trauma that is gonna stick with this kid for the rest of his life. Like, he is going to probably have some sort of, like, long-lasting trauma around being accepted. Spoken like someone who has long-lasting trauma in that department. But I feel like that's something that sticks with kids for a long time, and even though they're young and it's like, "Oh, he just wants gifts." He notices all the other things too. Like, it's not about the gifts. It's about, like, them not caring enough to show him they love him in that way. Like, I'm assuming it could just be about the gifts, but it seems like it's about more than that. Like, if they truly cared and they couldn't bring him a gift, but they genuinely cared about him and made him feel loved, I don't think he would care if they brought a gift or not. All that to say, like, you need to stand with your child. Maybe I'm wrong. Guys, if you disagree, I'm all for letting me know in the comments. I want this to be a respectful debate, though. So if you disagree, feel free to share, but please be kind to me and others. I try to be respectful to you guys. I try to have the best intentions in mind when I am reacting to these, but I am human. I do get things wrong. So if you have a different opinion, I would love to hear your point of view. Definitely include it and we can chat about it. If you're on a platform where you can't, head over to Spotify or YouTube where you can if you're interested in joining the conversation. But yeah, even if you agree with it, I want to hear your thoughts, because your life experience is obviously different from mine. So you may look at it from a different angle and, like, you may have different things to add to the conversation. So what do you think? Do you think that siding with the stepson over, like, his late wife's parents is wrong? Do you think that he should side with the son? I think fully he should support his wife and his stepson, full stop. It's a hard situation though, so I definitely am open to hearing the other side. Top comment is, I kind of understand why the late wife's parents are more interested in their biological grandson, but doesn't your son have two sets of grandparents as well? And OOP said, unfortunately not. My parents passed away and I don't have any contact with my husband's family. Okay, but, like, again, they can have a closer relationship with the biological grandson and still not be assholes. I'm sorry, a-holes. We are family friendly. Um, like, it's like she said, I understand them having a closer relationship and favoring him, but the hostility in the comments, like, that is bullying. They are bullying a child who had no say in any of this. Like, he didn't ask to be a part of this. It's just the situation he's in. He's in a family that, outside of the extended family, seems like a very loving, supportive family. He was brought into this blended family by his mom. He's just a kid. Like, he did not choose any part of this. I'm sure that she takes his feelings into consideration, but why are we, like, nobody did anything wrong. I'm not sure how the late wife passed, but, like, none of this is their fault. So why are we taking it out on the new wife and her kid? Like, just be nice. That's all we're asking here. Like, there's no reason for the hostility. Let's read the update from July 2nd, 2026. My husband's parents came over for dinner. After dinner, they started a conversation about the ultimatum my husband had given them earlier. He had finally sat them down and asked why they blindly believe everything his ex-in-laws say about me. They responded that they've quote-unquote seen everything with their own eyes and listed their issues with me. 1. That I'm too harsh and casual when talking about his mother's death, e.g. saying she died or she is dead instead of using softer words. 2. That I'm careless, especially after their grandson had a small injury. 3. That I'm trying to erase his mother's memory. 4. They also accuse me of manipulating my husband about the cat. My stepson wanted a cat, but my husband said no because he felt it would be cruel to bring a pet into a home when we can't give it proper care and attention. His parents tried to convince him to get one anyway. I didn't even know there was any argument between him and his parents over this. I only knew that he had told my stepson no when he asked. Now they're claiming I manipulated him into refusing. My husband defended me and explained the following. Our therapist specifically recommended we be direct and straightforward about his mother's death so my stepson can learn the permanence of death at his age. That's why I use clear wording, not just about his mom, but even when referring to my own late relative. When my hubby, was a child, he got injured often, including breaking his arm once, but that didn't mean his mother was careless. He asked them, do you think I'm dumb or blind? If my wife was actually doing something wrong, don't you think I would notice? The conversation turned into a big argument, especially over the cat issue. And we are going to jump right into update number 2. There are more comments, but all of these will be linked down below if you want to check out all the comments, see what everybody else is saying. But because there are so many updates and we have multiple stories, we're going to jump right into number 2. This is from July 15th, 2026, so almost 2 weeks later. My son turned 11 yesterday. It was better than last year, but still pretty awkward overall. Most of the relatives we invited from my husband's side actually showed up. It was clear they mainly came because they didn't want to upset my husband after the ultimatum. They brought gifts for both boys and stayed polite, but the vibe was very, we're here to keep the peace, rather than genuine warmth. Most of them kept interactions with my son short and surface level while being more natural with my stepson. Oh my gosh, that's so annoying because, if you're not gonna, live out the terms of the ultimatum, you can't pretend to be nice. If you're not nice, then why are you here? All he's asking is for you to care about a kid who didn't do anything wrong. That's all he's asking. And treat him with respect, which we all deserve respect. I just don't understand why this is so hard. Even if they have issues with, the wife and think all these things that aren't true, that still has nothing to do with the son. So why are we taking it out on the son? We also invited my husband's ex-in-laws, but they didn't show up at all, which we expected. After cake and presents, my husband pulled his parents aside for a private talk. He explained the therapist's advice about using direct words like died and death so our stepson can properly understand what happened. He invited them to join us for a therapy session if they wanted. They agreed it made sense and said they'd think about coming. I hope they do. Therapy, it may not solve everything, but it gives you closure for everything, You may never have the same relationship with these people again, but at least you're able to talk it out in a setting where you're able to come to some sort of conclusion and move forward, whether it's with or without them. Before everyone left, my husband and I thanked them for showing up. We told them sincerely that it meant a lot to us that they came and were there for both boys. I'm happy they showed up. I completely understand that my son and my stepson are not the same for them. I know they'll always love their biological grandson more. That's natural. I just want basic kindness and inclusion for my son, and yesterday was a step in the right direction. My son had a decent day, he was happy about his gifts, and that so many people came this year. He wasn't ignored or left out like before, and he didn't ask any heartbreaking questions. He did notice the difference in how people acted toward him, but he still went to bed smiling. I have to say, my husband has been absolutely amazing through all of this. He's stayed strong, protected both boys, held the boundary, and made sure our son still felt celebrated. I'm so lucky to have such a wonderful, fair, and protective partner. He really is the rock of our family. It feels like a lot of this is damage control on their part, but at least my son got to celebrate without feeling rejected. We're keeping the boundary firm and taking the small progress where we can get it. Good. Like, marry this man all over again. That's what I think when I hear that. Just green flags all over the place when it comes to him. New update, which is from July 27th, 2026. It is also the final update. Hi, everyone. I wasn't planning on making another update, but a lot of people asked what happened after my husband's parents agreed to attend a therapy session with us. Birthday celebrations. A lot of people asked why my post focused on relatives instead of my son's friends. In my husband's family, birthdays have always been celebrated in two parts. On the child's actual birthday, we have a family celebration with relatives. Then, on the following weekend, the birthday child has a separate celebration with their friends. That's the tradition both boys have grown up with, and they genuinely enjoy it. My son absolutely celebrated with his friends as well. It just wasn't relevant to my previous post because all the issues happened during the family celebration. We do almost the same thing. Like, we always have a family dinner on the birthday night, and we get to go to our favorite restaurant. Like, we get to choose a spot, and everybody just kind of has to go along with it. So that's the family one. Sometimes we'll do it like the day before or the day after. It just depends on everybody's schedules. And then if we want to have a birthday party, we can have it. Like, we're older now, so for a while I would just like go to the bars with my friends on like a Saturday night, and now it's kind of like, I want to have fun things again, like friend dinners, but in this economy, y'all, I'm looking to make it to another year. So maybe one day, but we still do the family one. So yeah, that makes total sense. What do you guys do? Is that normal? Is that not normal? I just always grew up with it and never questioned it. So maybe that's not normal. I don't know. Our relationship timeline. Quite a few people also wondered how long after my husband's first wife passed away we met. She had passed away about 1 year and 5 months before we met. We dated for 15 months before getting married, and we've now been married for 16 months. Some people assumed our relationship started immediately after his loss, but that wasn't the case. Now for the update. After my son's birthday, my husband's parents came with us to one of our therapy sessions. I honestly expected it to turn into another argument, but it didn't. Our therapist first explained why she had recommended that we use direct words like died and death when talking to my stepson instead of softer phrases like passed away. She explained that children his age understand the permanence of death much better when adults use clear, direct language, and that euphemisms can sometimes be confusing. She also explained something that I hadn't really thought about before. Because my stepson lost his mother so young, everyone around him naturally wanted to protect him from more pain. Between us, my husband's parents, and his late mother's parents, a lot of adults tried to soften the reality of what had happened. The therapist said that while those intentions came from love, constantly shielding a child from direct conversations about death can make it harder for them to fully understand that death is permanent. That is one of the reasons she encouraged us to use clear language and answer his questions honestly in an age-appropriate way. She emphasized that helping a child understand the permanence isn't cruel. It's actually an important part of healthy grieving. This is true. Like, you guys know that I've been grieving a lot. Read the petition if you didn't know that. And accepting that, like, it's permanent is a huge part of the process, and, like, it's not able to be reversed, or, like, they're not coming back. So, I mean, they're not wrong. And, like, learning that at a younger age, I think, does help. Because as you get older, like, more people are going to pass away with time because they age and things just happen. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I've never thought about it that way, but that is really healthy. And honestly, like, yeah, you're right. She also made it clear that it wasn't something I decided on by myself. It was advice we were given in therapy and had been following consistently. My husband's parents admitted they hadn't known that. They said they genuinely thought I was being insensitive. My husband then told his parents something that I think needed to be said. He told them that if they ever have concerns about our younger one or about any parenting decisions we make, he wants them to come directly to us instead of making assumptions. He said he'd much rather have an uncomfortable conversation than have people filling in the blanks or believing someone else's version of events. It was awkward at times. There were quiet moments. After the session, they thanked us and left. No big emotional talk. The session simply ended with everyone understanding each other's perspective a little better than before. Since then, we've noticed small but meaningful changes. I'm glad they came. It felt like a small step, not a big change. We're not expecting miracles. Honestly, I feel like that's a very realistic ending. It's a good, realistic one because, again, miracles don't happen every day. And this is a very much realistic expectation for what to get out of it. It's not always a big dramatic thing. It's small steps that happen over time. And the fact that they're making changes shows that they are aware that they were in the wrong, which is what you can ask for. Long term, we'll see what sticks, but I'm glad that you guys were able to come to some sort of conclusion with that side of the family. Sad about the ex-in-laws, but I hope that that gets better over time. But yeah, what do you guys think? I want to know your opinions. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as hype or follow or whatever the term is. Hype on YouTube if you're watching on mobile. 75% of you are. I do check the statistics. I'm watching you. All you have to do is hit the hype button. It's down below with the thank yous and the super thanks and the save this and, all the terms that YouTube be using these days. So you can hype for the first week and it would mean the world to me. We are a super small channel, so hyping shares us with more people, which in turn grows our community so that we can have even bigger conversations and impact even more people. And let's be real, these are entertaining. I do like listening to them, hearing them. When I'm not recording, I'm out there listening to Reddit stories on YouTube. So we're all in this together, why not join? But let's move on to the next story. We're probably only going to fit in 2 today, but we'll see. My husband lied about being deathly allergic to a certain food, plus a 4-year update. First post is from October 9th, 2022. When I met my husband and we started dating, he told me that he was deathly allergic to a certain food. We avoided certain restaurants on dates. He was always careful what he ordered when we ate out, and the first time I cooked for him, I purged that food from my apartment and basically sterilized my kitchen. He showed me his EpiPen and explained how to use it. When we moved in together, we made sure there was one in the house, one in the car, and I always had one in my purse. My family knows, and they avoid using that food at family events, and my husband is still extra careful about what he eats. Last weekend, for my brother's birthday, my sister-in-law made dinner. One of my nephews has an allergy. Though different from my husband, and my sister-in-law is very diligent about keeping him and my husband safe. She gave us 2 Tupperware dishes of leftovers, and the one for my husband had a different colored lid. When my husband ate the wrong leftovers, both me and my sister-in-law panicked. My husband said even having his food prepared with utensils that touch the foods he's allergic to would be enough to give him a deadly reaction. He told me stories of it happening as a kid, but he ate the wrong dish of leftovers and nothing happened. He's confessed to me and my family that he was never allergic. He just doesn't like that particular food, and when he went to university, he started saying he was allergic because that was better than looking like a picky eater. His mom died before I met him, his parents were divorced, and until he was an adult, he didn't see his dad lots because his dad lived in another province. So his dad, his friends, and even his own family thought he was allergic. The panic I felt when he ate something that would kill him is something I can never describe. My sister-in-law thought she did kill him. I can't believe he's been lying since the day I met him. I just need to get off my chest how furious I am at him right now. Let's read the top best comment. This seems to be a common thing people lie about. My twin sister tried to convince her husband that she was allergic to strawberries. When I asked her about it in front of him, her eyes widened in panic and she said, "I've always been allergic. You know this." To which I replied, "We grew up eating strawberry shortcakes and you were eating chocolate-covered strawberries just 2 years prior. Why are you lying?" Needless to say, she eventually cut ties with me. I don't know if it was just over the strawberries, but standing on business, I'm here for that. Similarly, my wife has many stories about when she worked at McDonald's. My favorite was when a customer ordered a Big Mac with no pickles and claimed a single slice of pickle would kill them. My wife, taking the customer's health risk seriously, suggested if the customer wanted the Mac sauce removed since it contained pickles. The customer then says, "I can have a little bit of pickles." It seems like a really stupid thing to lie about, but for some odd reason, people do it. Sorry you had to stress out about your significant other's lie before they came clean. I do feel like it's really common for people to say they're allergic to things so that they don't have to eat them. But they say, like, I'm allergic as in mildly allergic. I don't often hear people say it will kill me. Like, I feel like taking that extra step is what makes this so diabolical because, like, oh my gosh, the fear and anxiety, maybe it's just because I have OCD and anxiety and I'm extra when it comes to this stuff. But like the fear when you're scrubbing down your kitchen because you're like, I don't want this thing to be something that kills him and I want him to be able to enjoy my kitchen for years, avoiding it for years. I'm wondering how common of a food it is. Not that that makes a difference. Like when you make a lie so big, like about something that could off you, I feel like that's what takes it to the next level. Like that being that serious of a lie, there's nothing that like would make that worse. But I am curious, is it like gluten or milk or something that's like in literally everything? Or is it something like strawberries that's maybe a little bit more easy to avoid? Is that English is hard, grammar is hard. I'm doing my best. But there is an update from 4 years later, July 26, 2026. So let's see what they said. In parentheses is how they start, and it says, to be truthful, I completely forgot I had posted here. I tried signing up so I could post about my situation, and I was notified that my email address was already associated with an account here. I don't remember writing my other post. I was so upset back then, though. Now let's jump into the update without the parentheses. For context, my 36 female husband, 37 male, lied about having a deadly food allergy. It fell apart because he ate leftovers that were given to us by my sister-in-law, and nothing happened despite him eating food he was supposedly deathly allergic to. My nephew has a different, real allergy, and so my sister-in-law is always careful about cross-contamination. When she gave us the leftovers, the containers had different colored lids, so my husband would know which one was safe for him to eat. I guess he forgot or wasn't paying attention, and he ate mine instead. He said he lied about being allergic because people take it more seriously than someone saying they have a preference not to eat certain things. Meanwhile, I always made sure we had an EpiPen nearby, and I've been hyper vigilant when I cook or we go to restaurants. I was so furious. Okay, pause. Also, the sister-in-law probably had to make 3 different sets of food where she like sanitized all 3 differently. So maybe like a pan of food with these ingredients and then a pan of food with these ingredients and then the regular ingredients, and having to be so careful about cross-contamination and scrubbing everything. Like, I can only imagine how much time that took just because he's picky. The long and the short of it is that we are in marriage counseling. Yes, and I'm not trying to sound dramatic. I mean, I don't think that's dramatic. He lied to you to your face for years. Years. I really don't think that's dramatic. I think that that's probably where you should be. When the situation with the leftovers happened, my husband apologized to me for making me panic and for his lying. He admitted to being a picky eater, and while a lot of people are upset with him, I thought that was the end of it. I tried to let it go, even though it bothered me how he went so far as to carry an EpiPen for an allergy that he doesn't have. But this wasn't the only lie, and I've been floundering. You know what I'm picturing for the EpiPen? So when I was little, we had those little like doctor kits, and there was like a little plastic shot that was like, you know, you pushed it down and like the needle went in, but like it didn't, it was like a little plastic toy. Why am I picturing that being the EpiPen? Like it's just like a little Tykes plastic shot. Obviously it's not, because it was believable enough, but it's like, where do you get that? I mean, maybe it was someone else's EpiPen. Was she spending money on those? How expensive are they? Does anyone who has one know like the going market on EpiPens? Because that's another thing, like going out of your way to buy those, maybe finances are tight and you're like saving up to get this life-saving thing that he doesn't even need. That's crazy. He lied about receiving a scholarship for university for athletics and then losing it because he got injured. He was never recruited for a sport. He applied to university the regular way and took student loans like most other people do. He lied about spending his season working in Antarctica before we met. Crazy thing to lie about. He's never even been there. Yeah, I would assume so. It's not like a very frequently traveled place. He lied about restoring an old automobile. He bought it fully restored, but when he goes to car shows, he says he did it all himself. There are a million other things, and it's basically been a bomb in our relationship. I know and have proof there are things he didn't lie about. His mom did die from cancer before we met. His dad lives in another province and wasn't involved in his life. He has a law degree and works as a lawyer. My husband's excuse is that he lies so he can feel better about himself, and that's why he doesn't lie about quote-unquote big things, like his dad not being involved in his life growing up. I mean, I'd say things like student loans and like car. I feel like those are big things. I get like your dad being a part of your life is also a big thing, but I feel like these things that he lied about, like being deathly allergic to something in my book, that is a big thing. And how does that make him sound better? I guess because he's like, maybe he's a people pleaser and he's like, don't want to like be inconvenient, so I'm gonna lie, and that way like people have to, and then it absolves me of any guilt. I don't know. I'm a firm believer of like, if you're not happy with yourself and you have to lie to feel proud of yourself, then maybe you need to start doing things that will make you proud of yourself. Like, a law degree is really not easy to achieve, so he should be proud of himself. But if there's areas where he isn't proud of himself, then maybe he should just work on that instead of keeping up a lie for years in his marriage and probably in other parts of his life. I don't know. Maybe that would be the natural step up, but maybe I'm crazy. For about a year and a half after the leftover situation, things were normal, even if people couldn't understand why he lied about an allergy. Then more lies came out. I haven't left because we have a 5-year-old. We are in counseling because we are both children in divorce, and I don't want that for my son. My family and friends say I should leave, but I'm trying to work on my marriage for my son's sake. I'm floundering. That's basically what's going on and where I'm at right now. Okay, so someone did ask how she got an EpiPen, and she said in Canada you can purchase them at the pharmacy. A prescription isn't required. Are they expensive though? I mean, I know you guys have universal health care, but like, how does that impact things that you would buy at the pharmacy? I don't know. So, top comment from Best Redditor is, I know she doesn't want her kid to be a child of divorce, but honestly, it feels inevitable. He's just a domino train of lies. It's insane. I want to give the benefit of the doubt and be like, oh, he's going to change. Like, he's taking all the steps. Like, he's going to therapy, which is more than a lot of men would do. But when he's been lying this long, I guess the question is, can he change? And is he willing to take the steps to change? And if you're still presenting like a healthy relationship to your son and otherwise like you're working through it, then I could see staying together. But if you're like fighting and he's hurting you and you're accepting that, you're just teaching your son like to accept being treated poorly and lied to and manipulated. And I feel like that's worse than divorce, but ultimately it's up to OP to decide what's best for their own child. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. This is another one where I'm like, okay, I have like my opinion, but what do you guys think? So definitely don't forget to keep it respectful, but let me know your thoughts down below. Chat with each other. I love when you guys like start talking to each other because I can't always comment back a ton, but I love seeing like a thread kind of go another direction and you guys are just chit-chatting. It makes me so happy when I like come and check it later. But yeah, I really try to respond to comments, especially the first day that the video is out. So that's the best time to comment, but at any time I will try and go back and respond. YouTube is just really weird about comments, and then you guys like don't really comment on Spotify. What's that about? I'm calling you out. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, comment. We are so close to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. I can taste it. So definitely don't forget to do that. I am just like, thank you. It means the world to me. It really does. Like, you guys have been such a rock, and I really appreciate it. But that is pretty much it. If you like hearing stories, this is the place to be. Don't forget to sign the petition if you're cool and hot and fresh, because that's what cool and hot and fresh people do. I love you guys so much. I upload every single Sunday and Wednesday. And I will see you guys on Sunday with a whole new podcast episode. Bye, guys.